This lesson, we're going to look at how we can use date within JavaScript. So we've kept that previous framework where we've got a button, we can click it, and it outputs content into that output div. So here I want to set a variable, and maybe I can just call it my date or something like that. And I'm going to do new date. And just show you what happens whenever I output that my date value. And we can see that immediately we get the current time. This has to do with the system time. So this is where it's actually picking it up. So if you're actually going to change your system time, it would change that time that's being output here. Now there's a few different things that you can do with the date as well. You can also use now method. And what now does is it gives you the milliseconds since, I'm going to write this out. So it gives you milliseconds since January 1st, 1970. So if I was to change, maybe I can put the now here. So date method, and now, I can show you what it outputs now. So whenever I click this, we get the milliseconds that actually, the milliseconds from January 1st, 1970. We can see that this is always increasing. So this is a really good way to make some calculations if you're looking at time differences from, if you want to have a clickable button here, you want to see how fast people can double click it or something like that. That's where you use something like this because you actually get this numeric representation. Also with the date, you can return back different pieces of that date information. So actually just going to comment this one out, and I'm going to go back to that variable that we set up, the my date. So this is right now, this is returning back all of this date information, but what happens if you only want part of it? So let's say you only want to return back, maybe you want to get the actual time or something like that. So you can update this, and you can do, again, time. You can change this and do, if I want to see what hour it is. So the myDate object now contains all of this information, and I can isolate it down to get hours if I want to. It turns it back to 14, so that's the actual hour. That's because it's 2 p.m., so that's the 14th hour. We can also do something like get the day if we wanted to. It's a bunch of different ones here to really isolate it, that content there. So get day returns the day of the week. So right now it's actually Friday, so this is considered the 5th day of the week, so it'll be returning a number from 0 to 6. So it'll ending on Saturday, starting at Sunday. So Sunday is when Sundays would be a 0. You can also do a get date. And so this is going to give me the day and the month. So this is the 10th of June right now, and that's why we're returning back the 10th. So there's a lot of different things we can do with this date object. And essentially we have access to any piece of that date information. We can output that within our JavaScript and utilize it. So it's definitely worth checking out all the different functionality you can do with date, as well as other built-in methods, and try to combine the different types of JavaScript, so different DOM elements, and pulling in all this content and making use of it within your JavaScript code, and see what you can get JavaScript to do and what you can get it to input. In the next set of lessons, we're actually going to be looking at some more advanced JavaScript, doing AJAX calls and getting JSON on data. So it's really going to be really interesting, and that's coming up in the next section.